Greetings, salutations, warm welcome, namaste, Sagittarius. This is your September tarot reading with me for 2017. So guys, just sit back and wait while we shuffle and deal the cards. There are a few to get through. We are using 3 different sets of cards. So I'll explain it as we work through the reading. Okay, so Sagittarius. For the first deck in the month of September, the first one is the Hierophant, then the 8 of Wands, then the 5 of Wands, and then the 7 of Swords. The next deck is this John Holland deck, Psychic Tarot. Just let me shuffle a little bit. Takes a little bit more time at the beginning, but I think the effect and the messages are well worth waiting for. Let's see. Okay. Sagittarius, sacral chakra, sacrifice, heartache and loss, and material and spiritual prosperity. And now for the last deck, just a bit of a shuffle going on. 4 more cards to come. Sun, do some research, flower power, and assertiveness. I'll move those up a little bit so we can see them all. Okay, Sagittarians, what have we got in store for you guys for September? We are going to be reading down the lines like this. So this is the first week, second, third, and fourth. Now, I see we have a major arcana there. Whoops. We have a little visitor in the room and he's knocking things off the table. We have the Hierophant as a major arcana, and we have Sacrifice, which is another major arcana. Sacrifice at number 12 is, of course, the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot. We also have the Sacral Chakra here, which we sort of consider a major arcana as well. Now, before I started for you guys, Sagittarius, I got the feeling that family and parents would be involved somehow in the energies for you guys in the month of September, and also possibly the feeling of summer and music may have something to do with the reading. So this could be at a personal level for individual people, but we'll see how those messages and words relate as we go through the reading. So the first card up on the top left, the Hierophant, is all about, and this is how you start your month in September. You've got some distraction going on, but that's fine. That's exactly how it's meant to be. The Hierophant is about being correct and following protocol and status quo. When he turns up, he's often imbuing the fact that rules and regulations should be followed, or that there will be some of those type of things coming your way. He also sometimes suggests that we might be interested in uplifting further information and knowledge about esoteric lessons in life or religious perspectives. So some of you could be imbued in that type of energy in the beginning of September one way or another. You might be attending religious events, or you might be looking into it for your own personal needs or pleasures, or you might be expanding on some information or knowledge regards that field. It is also, it gives us a little bit of an indicator that if you're signing documentation or if you're doing any legal works, it must be above board, and you must do things like due diligence on projects and events that might be occurring. We come to the second card and we see the Sacral Chakra energy there, and that energy is kind of through the lower part of your body, right down at the base of your spine and through this area here, sort of through the fertility reproductive zones of our species for men and women. It's also the back part of the body, so the lower back, and it includes our ability to be creative. So sometimes when the sacral chakra energy is stalled or blocked, we run out of creative energy. We sort of feel like we stall. We can also create fear and anxiety from this part of our body when it's not in balance as well. So obtaining balance through that area would be really beneficial, and it's by wearing the colour orange or eating orange foods, listening to meditations that contain sacral chakra meditational vibrations, and as well strengthening that part of your body. Some of you may even have lower back pain in through around the kidneys, and for women you might have some female reproductive problems that you're looking into to get sorted out one way or another. So this could be something to do with fertility, or it could be to do with pain and cramps and that type of thing. So all of those messages are coming floating in, and they will affect some of you one way or another. We come to the third card and we see Sun, and it says your son is watched over and protected as he explores his world. So some of you may have an older son going out into life and be wondering how he is going to fare, going on his journey. Some of you may be at that stage in life where your son is going overseas or attempting a new big career or moving away from home, and so it feels as though he has some protection and some nurture and some guidance around him at this stage in his life. Also for younger people or with younger sons, there's also still love and nurture and protective energies around them. This can come from both the physical realm as much as other family members or friends also looking out for your children, or it can come from the spiritual realm such as your guardian angels or spirit guides helping them. Now the card I also think refers to the possibility of pregnancy, and some of you may be conceiving a son, and this could also be tied into the energies through here in the sacral chakra energy. So getting this whole sacral chakra flowing, this is the sex center of our bodies, and having that fertility area in good harmony and boosted up will help conceive a pregnancy. So that's kind of messages that are coming through there. We come to the second week and we see the 8 of Swords. We see number 12, the Sacrifice card, which is the Hanged Man, and we see do some research at the bottom. So there's kind of like two different messages going on here. The 8 of Wands is often about fast action coming in, creative resources as well. So it can be new entrepreneurial ideas, it can be new offers of jobs, it can also represent travel, and it can represent air travel. So some of you might be thinking of travelling in this month of September, possibly in the first half or around the middle of it. The other thing that 8 of Wands can represent is just ideas, offers, as I said before, of jobs, also possibly new romance coming in for some of you seeking romance, and it can be quite quick and feisty and unexpected but very pleasant. The Sacrifice card, or the Hanged Man, talks to us about the fact that we can feel we're at a crossroad in life and we are trying to make our minds up about which decision to go. Now this could be related to this card in as much that maybe some of you have been looking for jobs and you've put your applications out and you're actually being given the opportunity to apply for a few of them, and then you're thinking, oh, but which one? I can't make up my mind, should I do this or shouldn't I? So there's a feeling of uncertainty in the second week as opportunities come your way, and some of them could be big opportunities that could be life altering. So they could take you on a different career path, for instance, or they could take you into a different relationship sector, or they could be taking you into a new area or a different country to live in. So these type of decisions do take a lot of reflection and a lot of going within to make sure you really feel that you've made the right choice and that you've made the right connection. Because if you don't, You often feel stressed or you're not happy with the choices you've made, and that can lead to future turbulence and dissatisfaction. Now this one down here is falling very succinctly into the information in that line as well, because it says do some research. You need more information about this situation. Look into it further before processing. So there is something in here that you are requiring some time out and some re-strategizing and some more research to come up with the correct pathway to follow. So do your due diligence. Dig as deep as you can. Ask as many people as you can. Look into it and feel into it, and also use your own intuitive abilities with decisions that you need to make in this part of September, because I think they're very important about how you move forward with your future. Also, the sacrifice card can mean that we have a stalling in time. And sometimes this stalling of events is important because we need the time to make the correct decision. So if things slow down a little bit and you're feeling frustrated with that, look at it from the positive perspective and say it's happening for a reason, and the reason is that I need to reassess some information because I haven't quite formulated it all correctly. It's not quite exactly what I anticipate or what I think it is. So we come to the third week and we have the Five of Wands, the Three of Swords and Flower Power. The Five of Wands at the top often suggests there's a lot of quick fire action going on, and you've got that with this 8 and you've got it again with the 5. Now the 5 is often competitive, so there's other people vying for attention and energy, and sometimes this can be a quick flare up of combustible ideas or creativity or passion or lust. It's often again associated with potential relationships and activity and movement. So I feel for any of you thinking of new relationships, there is that energy around here, and that might be why you've been told to do some research to check that it's the right type of person you want or the right synergies to match your life path and where you're going. This can also represent career and opportunities again, but what it often represents is competition. So there may be others seeking the same position as yourself or the same incremental adjustments one way or another. Moving down to this card, we see the Three of Swords, and it's known as heartache and loss. And this card can come about when there have been arguments within a relationship that need either mediation or working through or communication. So if it's a relationship that's very dear to you and you want to keep it, then it's worth trying to communicate through. So when we shut ourselves down and stop the flow of communication, whether it's verbal or written, then nothing can be resolved, and it will only ever move forward into degeneration and falling apart. But if we take the time to try and listen to each other, or if it's a group of people, to listen to different sides and perspectives, then we allow the possibility of the regeneration of the friendship, and for mediation to work and resolve or heal some of the influences that were being affected. So I quite often like to put a heart energy on the card because it has the feeling of being a little bit pained and a little bit sad. It can feel like there is loss and deprivation when this card is around, but it's usually known as a short-term issue. So sometimes it's resolvable with the person or the group of people, but sometimes it's about moving on and letting go and knowing that as you move on, you get to a better place with new people and new situations. And it's entirely your choice as to whether you stay and try to mediate your way through it or whether you choose to walk away. Either way, there'll be benefits from both perspectives. We get to this bottom card here and it says flower power. Spend time with flowers and flower essences to increase your personal healing power. So there's a couple of messages in here. I don't know how many of you involve yourself or are interested in the healing effects of natural remedies such as herbal remedies and flower essences. They're very healing and they're very, very soothing. So if any of you are going through a period where you're feeling anxious or stressed, or there are situations that you need help or support with, these remedies and products can be very, very beneficial in bringing balance within your own body area, both physically, emotionally and spiritually. And when we have balance, we have the ability to make cohesive decisions at a much better level and make them with clarity and insight. So don't overlook our flower power. It can be very, very beneficial, as I say, and it's a natural form of remedy as well. And the other perspective of that card is to spend time outdoors in nature and really enjoy the energy and the passion that nature inspires in us and regenerates our bodies with, being outdoors in the nature zone. So we come to your 4th week and we see the 7 of Swords, the 6 of Pentacles and assertiveness at the bottom. Now I like the assertiveness card with this one. The 7 of Swords, when he turns up, it is a cautionary message to be a little bit careful about due diligence going on around you and people and situations that are happening. This could be within a work group of people or even friends, and yourself. Someone somewhere along the line is not doing things above board and they are up to trickery and sometimes treachery. They're deceptive. It is basically the card of deception. So be very careful if you are purchasing something new, or you're investing money, or you're loaning it out to someone. Chances are you're going to lose some of it. So if you are thinking of buying something new, make sure that you need it, that the documentation is clear, that the contracts are legal and binding. If you are loaning money to someone, is this person trustworthy? Do you think you're going to get it back? If not, draw up some legal binding documents. If you are going into new contractual obligations with a third party or a business proposition, do some really careful research on the fundamental structure of what it is you're moving into, because sometimes it may not be all that it seems. But the good thing is, underneath you've got this card here of material and spiritual prosperity. So this one feels more as though it may be about relationships, and it could be that someone is backstabbing you, or not being very nice about you, or not saying good things, or not being honest to your face. There's that type of energy with it as well. And if that happens, confront them, because this could be related here on this diagonal axis. That could be where the connection is with that. Your finances feel as though they're strong and firm, and the 6 of Pentacles is about feeling as though you have reached a point in time where you're making inroads, or you've made good decisions, that there's some form of prosperity coming. And it also says spiritual prosperity, so a feeling of abundance, of health and generosity and peacefulness, and feeling sated and happy with the world. So it's a good positive card that loans itself to, just that lovely sunshiny summery feeling. I love when you get those feelings like that, and it's like life just feels good and cruisy. So it's almost like these things become superfluous or not important at that point in time when you've got energies like this to oversee it all. And at the bottom we've got assertiveness for your last card, and it says stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. So Sagittarians, with your fire power, utilize that, resource, that fire energy and drive and strength. And you've got, you had a couple of wands up here in that first row. Call upon that creative strength to show your assertiveness, and definitely don't let people trample you in the month of September, because this guy up here, that's what he would do. And there's this feeling that he may be involved here. So see how they're all interconnected? They're telling you to definitely stand up for yourself. So if you feel that someone's making an unfair decision or comments about you, just, tell them, back off, get out. You don't need that. You'll walk away and clear that energy. Go home and move them on. And as I say, if it can't be resolved through mediation or talking to them, let them go and just re-pick yourself up again and put your assertiveness out there and boost yourself up. But overall, I think you have a really nice, strong reading with some firm, solid messages that will take you through September and move you into the rest of the year, progression from the eclipses in August, and helping you to sort of understand where all this quite new, sudden, creative source energy is coming from. So I think you've got options as you move into the rest of the year. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I trust you have really enjoyed the reading, enjoyed the colours and the different cards we're using. It gives a whole sort of flair and oomph energy to the actual reading. Thank you all for liking, subbing and leaving your comments. I love it, and it's a privilege for me to be able to do the work here. It's also been wonderful to have been awarded position number 19 in the top 100 psychics on the planet. So that's really exciting energy as well. Thank you everyone. Have a wonderful September. Namaste.